Hello guys, it's RiZe here, and before I start saying anything, I would like to apologize to everyone for the lack of upload and content due to a lot of IRL events happening in my life, and I really couldn't upload or make videos, but hopefully I'm gonna stay consistent from now on. And also I want to thank everyone for the big support you're showing on my best gloves video. That shit is blowing up so fast, and I want to say thank you so much for the 100 subscribers as well. Just hit it yesterday, a new milestone. Maybe subscribe to get to 1000, who knows. Thank you guys so much. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Before we get into the list, I want to just say that there is one option when it comes to knives that are extremely cheap, but the knife itself isn't really considered one of the best in CS, which is the Navaja knife. It's really cheap, like it's so cheap. Like you can get like actually tiger tooth or a fade or even a Doppler, and it will cost you almost nothing compared to the real, of course, knives. If you see it cool enough for you, then you should probably buy it. Otherwise, let's get into the video. Number one on the list is the Shadow daggers, or as well known as the butt plugs. They might not be everyone's favorite knives, but hey, for a cheap price you get two knives that look like plugs, or even like Naruto knives if you want to look at it that way. I mean, even pros like Liege or the tank RPK themselves use them, so no need for actually saying noob in the chat or noob knife or whatever. The skin I picked for this particular knife is the Knight, starting from $85 on the field tested. Any Knight knife will look absolutely clean. All single color is just perfect for this type of knife. It really is clean and I really enjoy it. Also, that's definitely not it with the knife, as I have two other suggestions that might actually look super amazing on this knife. Them being the Ultraviolet and the Crimson Web. I always suggest buying these type of knives if you're on a budget, on a field tested, with a good condition, a good float, or a well worn, some good look on a well worn. But preferably you should buy them on a field tested. They still look clean, they still look good on a low float if you could actually find one, and it's a lot cheaper than a minimal wear or a factory new. So why not? Second knife on the list is gonna be the Falchion knife, stained, starting off from $90 on a field testing. I picked this knife simply because I'm a fan of the unique animation it has, with the problem being that the field tested skins on this particular knife show like a bit of scratch on the edge, on the blade basically, which is making it not as clean as we want it to be. So for this specific reason, I picked the stain, because the wear only affects the contrast of the color or the skin rather than the scratch. So for example, if you get a low float, like even a well worn or something, you won't see any scratches, you will just see like a contrast, like it's basically getting darker, and that's it. So it's still clean for a Falchion knife. Moving on to the list with the number 3, which considered probably the best budget knife, or what every person on a budget gets. It's the Gut knife, and for this specific knife I'd love to suggest two skins, them being the Bright Water and Crimson Web. The Bright Water goes for maximum 100, like from 90 to 100, and the Crimson Web is a bit expensive as it goes from 95 to 120 on a field tested. By the way, these prices are on the Steam market prices. You can get them a lot cheaper on the third website, such as cs.money or Skimport or stuff like that. The Gut knife, so the Gut knife has a decent animation and the general look is decent. It's big enough for you to inspect and also kind of cheap, so it has to make its way on the list. Our last knife is gonna be the Huntsman knife. Urban Mask, going from 100 to 110 on a field testing. This particular knife is probably one of my best on this list. Reason why I like it is the animation being so similar to the Gut knife, but it's low-key bigger. I don't know, but it seems like I like big things. The reason I picked the Urban Mask rather than the Forest Didipat or the Forest Boral or something is because the Urban Mask specifically has some interesting pattern. Yes, it does actually have patterns. And here's a little tutorial on how you can see the patterns and choose which one you like so you could actually buy it. So in order to see the patterns that are available on such skin as the Urban Mask, all you have to do is go to this website called wiki.cs.money. It's basically like a Wikipedia for skins made by CS.money, I guess. So all you have to do is pick the knife, just Google like Huntsman knife urban mask, scroll down, and you will find the CS.money wiki CS.money site. Click on it, and then this will appear to you. And all you have to do is literally just click and switch between the patterns, and you'll see that the patterns on the knife will change. All you have to do is to actually pick one that you really like. There are like some patterns that look like smoky. There are some patterns that like have these like lines which really cool. Those like are my favorite. So yeah, this is particularly how you can see the patterns or how it looks. So basically those were the knives that I wanted to suggest you guys. They're extremely cheap, but they look acceptable and really decent. They're really not that trash, as you can see. So they're affordable, go for it, try to buy them. And I would like to give a small notice. If you try to buy a knife, there is like one rule in CS that there are some skins for knives that are always the cheaper. You have like the Border Forest, Forged D-pad, Urban Mask, like Ultraviolet, and a Stained even. There are like about 5 or 6 skins that are super cheap on every knife. Even those not that even the knives that are not on the list, you can get, for example, a classic knife, urban mask, or border foils field tested for a little bit of extra money. There are a big variety, but as long as you keep it to these skins, for example the first Diddy pad, urban mask, ultraviolet, they will be so cheap, for not so cheap, but at least a really reasonable price for you to buy, and they won't look as bad as a safari mesh or even worse. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you liked the suggestions that I made and found it actually a little bit helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, and also please get us to 1,000 subs, because that would be extremely cool and really close to my goal. Thank you guys again, and see you later. Peace out.